Welcome to Wanderlust and Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Krystle.
As travel agents with Fantastical Vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of Wanderlust and Wishes. Today, we're going to be talking about Choose One at Magic Kingdom. We had a lot of great feedback when we did the Choose One at Epcot. So today we're going to cover half of Magic Kingdom with Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and Main Street.
So, Julie, welcome back from Universal. Tell us all the things.
It was very hot. I know that's a shocker to everyone. If you go to Orlando in July, be prepared for the heat because it will zap the energy out of you. It was very hot. So we had our fans. We drank lots of water. I still don't think we drank enough water, even when we were drinking a lot of water because it was just so warm. We didn't stay on site. I think I mentioned that in my pre-trip report. And this really solidified my recommendation that I always make to stay on property if possible with Universal or Disney, because it really was just a huge time suck and also a lot of money to get Ubers there and back every day. Don't get me wrong. The place where we stayed was beautiful. They had a beautiful grounds. The room was beautiful. And I'm super appreciative to my parents for getting us the accommodations. It's just, I think next time we'll definitely want to be on site. The other piece is we also did not have express passes. So we did have to wait in line. I don't think that we waited for a super long time, but we also didn't go to the rides if they had a long line. I think if it had more than like a 30-minute wait, we didn't do it.
How was the crowds?
It was really crowded. Since I haven't been to Universal as much as Disney, it's harder for me to do like a great comparison. Yeah. But I felt like it was really crowded. And we went to Disney Springs on a Thursday night, which normally I would think would not be that crazy. It was insanity. It was like almost like a standing room only. You're standing in a concert, kind of busy. So I was completely shocked. I don't remember that it was even that busy when we were there at Christmas. And I don't know if it's because of the drone show that it was so busy. I don't know if that's making it really, really crowded. It was nuts. We did go a couple more times. I went with just Lena once, and it was in the morning, and it was not as bad. And then I went with Ella again in the evening, but we were on the side where the Disney store is, not on the side where Cirque du Soleil is. We stayed kind of on that other end. And I don't think it was quite as bad. It still was crowded.
Feel it as much like from the drone show.
But I think that other end, it was crazy. We did go to Volcano Bay, and that was the first time I'd ever been to Volcano Bay, and I was really excited about it. The next time we go, I will definitely be getting a cabana. I don't think there's enough shade. They do have umbrellas, but I don't think they have enough. And so by the time we got there, and we didn't get there super late, all the umbrella chairs were gone. And so we were out in the sun. We had zero shade the entire day. So of course we all got a lot of sun that day. We all got kind of burned, even though we were using sunscreen. It was just, the sun is just so strong. But we did several of the slides, and I have a video that I can share. That's so funny. We did like I don't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, but it was basically this big 5-person raft kind of circle thing, and you go flying down this slide together. And yeah, that was probably one of my favorite things. We did the lazy river, and then we also did the other. It's not really a lazy river. It's kind of a fast river.
Rapids.
In that one, you wear a life jacket and the current
Everybody?
is super strong. Yes. Yes. Because the
Oh,
current is
wow.
so strong. And they also push every so often, they push out this waves and rapids. And if you happen to be in the spot when it comes out, you just get pummeled. But that was one of my favorite things too. That actually was really fun. And I probably could have done that all day and not done anything
Good.
else. Just float around in that thing with my life jacket on. And yeah, it was very fun. I liked it a lot better than I did the lazy river with the tubes.
I'm excited to try Volcano Bay. I've
Yeah.
heard great things.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun. So Universal is growing on me. There's a lot of great things that they have. I'm just still a Disney girl. So I'm going to choose Disney over Universal at this point.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for how we feel once Epic Universe comes out and we have the additional lands and things to look at, because I am excited about that.
Yeah, that'll be a big game changer. All right, so for news, the new Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass rolled out on Wednesday. So Genie Plus is no more. I have clients in both parks. Well, they were in both parks on Wednesday. So I was kind of able to watch through their apps like firsthand, like the Switch and like the rollover. And Disneyland, there's absolutely zero difference. It's just the rename. Disney World, I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts.
What are your thoughts, Krystle?
So I'm hoping more kinks and availability are worked out and released, but I'm a little bummed because by 10 a.m., Magic Carpets, Pooh, they were pushed to 9 p.m. because there was nothing else to choose. So taking the characters out, and if you didn't have your pre-selects until noon, you didn't have anything else. You only had those three. So when we're the family that easily got like 8 to 12 choices if we really wanted and if we played it right. Spring break at Epcot, the busiest week at Epcot, but we still got every single top tier A-list ride.
Yeah.
So I just can't foresee that working out with the new system. Like you'll get your tier one pre-select, but if you want another one, you're gonna have to wait in line.
Yeah.
Maybe you might luck into another one. We'll see. I hope it changes. And I know Genie Plus, they played with it for months before they like got it down to a science.
But that was one of the drawbacks of the fast pass system. I mean, that was one of the complaints, was that you got the 3, but you really weren't able to do anything else. And I know they've added, sometimes they would add, the ability to book more with fast pass. And obviously the lightning lane options have that ability as well. But being able to choose up front and not the day of, I don't know how they're going to get around that. Like you said, unless maybe on the day of they make it so that there's only so many that you can choose up front. They put like a certain amount that they set aside that people can use up front, and then they set aside another X amount that they
like
release on the day of, because otherwise they're always going to be all taken.
Yes.
And really, the way that it's set up with people staying on site, on Disney property, getting the ability to choose 7 days in advance versus 3 days for people that are off property, that's going to be significant advantage.
Yeah.
Depending on how they release them and how they divide things up, there's going to be no room for anyone that stays off property to get anything.
Yeah. So with the old Fast Pass Plus, it was free. So you can't really complain. But now, if I'm paying $30, $28 for Magic Kingdom today, plus $20 for Tron, plus another $15 for Tiana's. I'm down $400 for my family of five for today, and I'm only getting 3 rides out of it, maybe 4. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I think this is really gonna like push rope drop. It's gonna become an even bigger deal. And even like the deluxe evening hours, it might be more worth it to pay a little more in your resort cost to avoid paying for it in multi-pass fees.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it'll just be kind of interesting. Like it was very user friendly when I was playing with it in the app. My client yesterday, she took a break for the afternoon and she said, we're not going to use any of these shows. We have our one ride selected when we come back tonight, but feel free to play if you want. So I was trying to do like some modifying and just kind of getting familiar with it in the app
Mhm.
with shows. And I think there's going to be like a big learning curve with modifying. And if you want to like split your party for like us, Calder can ride everything, but Reese cannot.
Yeah.
So do we pre-select everything with Reese included just to make sure we're all planning together and then modify her out later? Like, I think that's going to be like a learning curve right there too.
I think that is one positive of it as far as like the usability
Mm-hmm.
that, everyone that commented on the post, our agency Facebook page on that post said that it was easy peasy as far as doing the bookings and things. So,
Yeah. So it'll also be interesting to see when you first scan into your first ride, that's your trigger. And then your tiers and your parks don't matter. So I've already seen some strategies floating around. So it'll be interesting to see what you can actually accomplish and do. So we'll see. Stay tuned.
yeah. One last thing is apps like Standby,
Skipper.
Skipper. I'm interested to see how they're going to adjust to this and if they can. I don't even know how it's going to work, but
Yes, it'll be
you may
interesting.
not be able to use it in the pre-selection portion, but you might be able to use it the day of, to try to pick up some extras if they make them available.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome if you can. So we'll see. You're still gonna have to get up for your virtual queues at 7, but you're not gonna be guaranteed. Like now, if everybody's buying those single pass ahead of time, are they even gonna be available? So just a lot of like question marks still up in the air.
Right. Right. We did get some exciting news today. The Disneyland Haunted Mansion is going to be open on July 29th, and they're going to go ahead and put the holiday overlay on it instead of shutting it back down and reopening it to do that. They're just going to go ahead and add that Haunted Mansion holiday. So that's going to be fun. I know
That's
that's
so
something that Krystle
early.
loves.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see. July just seems so early, but I guess if you're starting Halloween in August, why shut it down? So they did say that they're still working on the outdoor queue, so it'll be a virtual queue, which will be interesting for Disneyland. And then I did see
Yeah.
the rumor it'd be like 7 a.m. and noon, but I can't see anything official on that. So that's just a rumor. But if they do a 7 a.m. virtual queue at Disneyland, that goes against everything at Disneyland because you can't make any selections until you scan into the park. Even with Rise of the Resistance, you had to scan into the park before you did your virtual queue.
Right.
So interesting, interesting.
Yeah. Throwing in some surprises there. There's also a ton of cruise news, but we're just going to wait until next week to go over that. There's going to be a lot more information coming out on the second newest ship, Disney Destiny, that are going to be that will be coming out, and we'll talk about that once we get a little bit more information.
Okay, so should we dive into today's episode?
Yes.
So, like Julie was saying, we got lots of great feedback of the if you can only choose one Epcot World Showcase Edition. So, we're going to tackle only half of Magic Kingdom today, breaking it down by Main Street USA, Tomorrowland, and Adventureland. So, our parameters are basically a ride, some sort of food, maybe a snack, and then like an attraction or activity that if you are in this land and you don't know where to go, what you're doing, if you're hangry or if everything's falling apart, you just need something like a tried and true These are our recommendations. So let's start with Main Street USA. So this is technically a land. There's not a lot of like stuff as normal lands, but we're throwing it in there anyway.
So on Main Street, my ride would be the railroad. I don't know that there's a whole lot of other options,
Well,
but
there's like the omnibus and like the horse-drawn carriage, but I don't think those are out in high crowd times. So
the railroad was gone for like I feel like it was like 2 or 3 years that it was
longer
under
than that. It was
refurbishment.
probably pre-COVID.
It definitely was because I think the last time that we were able to ride it was in 2019, maybe. And actually it might have been down even then. I'm trying to remember. And then it just came back up. Or it just opened back up.
So for anybody who doesn't know, they had to completely move the train track to put
because
Tron
of
in.
Tron. Yes.
So the whole time they were building Tron, which was like a marathon of like 5 years,
I was going to say like a million years long. Took
basically
forever.
the train was down because it couldn't make its loop. So we did get to ride this though our last trip, and it was so fun to
We
ride.
did. And I'm so glad that we were able to ride it because I mean, I think that's the first time I've been on it since it was closed. I just haven't had the opportunity to ride it again. So really glad we were able to get on it. And that's definitely what I would choose.
All right, and I would choose this too. We like getting on and like because there are different stops around the park, kind of giving your feet a break. Like if you're back by Tiana's and need to get to the front of the park, if you're not rushed, like just hop on the train and give your feet a break.
Mm-hmm.
And there are not really behind the scenes, but kind of behind the scenes little things
Mm-hmm.
different than what you normally see. So that makes it fun.
Yeah, I thought it was neat because we took it over to Tiana's, to where
Yes.
Tiana's was. And I thought it was neat that we were able to ride up to see Tiana's and some of the changes that they've made. We were able to see those as we were riding up on the train. So that's
Yes.
So for restaurant, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace. And that's kind of it's kind of sort of on Main Street. I don't know. I mean, I think
It's considered. It's not in Adventureland.
yeah, and it's at the end of Main Street on the left side as you're going into Adventureland. And it is a character meal buffet. We love the Winnie the Pooh characters. My oldest daughter, Lena, this is one of her favorite places that she always requests when we go. She wants to have a reservation there. So that would be my pick.
Crystal Palace is also on my list. Shout out Churro Mickey Waffles because that's the only place you can get them. And it is Harper's also obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. So we did that in the fall. So that was fun. And then I will give a shout out to Casey's Corner for some corn dog nugs with the extra cheese.
Yeah, I can't have those. So, phooey. I would love to.
I think corn dogs and like a hot dog are like one thing that usually my kids will eat.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, yeah, they love chicken nuggets, but if it's chicken strips, it's like a crapshoot if they'll eat them because they're different. So, but like corn dogs, hot dogs, they're usually pretty good. So, a good fallback.
Well, and we've had this discussion before. We are terrible at quick service. So I need to be better about expanding my quick service meals and getting my family more exposed to those because we definitely we do like to sit down and have, character dining. For a snack, I would go into the confectionery and get the chocolate covered Rice Krispie treat, the Mickey shaped one. I love going into the confectionery just in general. I love to go in and see all of the pretty snacks and goodies that they have in there. It's such a pretty place.
I have this on my list as well. And in my notes, I actually put like the Instagrammable treats because this is where you're going to find all your Mickey shaped fun things, like your caramel apples. This is also where you can make your own like popcorn concoctions with like add caramel or chocolate or sour Skittles or nuts or whatever you want to do. Kind of like a trail mix popcorn.
Yeah. It's just really pretty for sure. That's the display case is you go in there and drool over it because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So for my attraction slash entertainment, I wasn't sure if this would count, but I think Krystle may have chosen this or one of these things. I'm going to choose the Festival of Fantasy Parade. I love it. I'm one of those people that is singing along with the cast members, and yeah, I love it's so fun. And usually, to my children's complete embarrassment, I talk to other people around me, and if there's a little around me that's watching, I love to watch their excitement as the characters come through, and I talk to them about their favorite. And as they're coming up, if they have a particular favorite that's in the parade, if they're coming through, I usually will let them know that they're coming and that they need to look now, there they come.
So fun.
It is
I
fun. I love it.
picked the Dapper Dans because they're just always so fun to catch their show and see what they're singing. And I also picked the parade, but I was just thinking in the last 15 years I've been going to Disney, whether at World or Land, I don't think I've watched the parade from Main Street. We always watch somewhere else, but I do love the parade. So
I think I watch most of the time. I have watched it. I have watched Festival of Fantasy from Main Street, but I think we typically watch it in Frontierland or Liberty Square. Those are usually kind of where we are.
Yes, that's usually where we catch it as well. I'm in at Disneyland, kind of back by Small World or back by the Matterhorn where it comes out.
So moving on to Tomorrowland, I am going to choose Space Mountain, although this was very difficult for me because I love the People Mover. I know it's not like like thrill ride or anything like that. So that was kind of a very close second because that one for me is very nostalgic because I love to ride the People Mover with both of my girls. Space Mountain is more of a ride that I ride with my youngest daughter, Ella. But I do love the thrill rides. So most of the time I'm going to pick that as my choose
That's
one.
a good one. Well, and that's, I was having the same agony because there's so many over here that I love. Space has such a special place in my heart, but I don't love the one at Disney World as much as Disneyland. Maybe it's just not as smooth from when they like redid the one at Disneyland a couple years ago. I also really like Buzz, Galactic Hero, max out my score, which is hard to do with a baby on your lap. But having a baby on your lap, you can also, it's a great any height ride. And then Consolation Prize for People Mover. It's such a vibe. It's such a relaxing ride, a fun way to like see the castle and just people watch.
But like you said, it's relaxing to chill for a few minutes.
Yes.
And if you can like sneak a coffee on there, it's even better.
All right. What do you got for food?
So I don't really have, whenever I was looking at this one, Tomorrowland, you need to step up your game with restaurants because
I agree.
I'm not going to Cosmic Rays. I mean, I will if I don't have a choice, but that's not where I'm going. And that's really the only restaurant there. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to some other land and get something to eat.
So my notes say I'm avoiding Cosmic Rays. There are so many better options.
Yeah. Sorry, Cosmic Rays, but you're going to have to step it up a little bit. For snack, and I know Krystle's going to laugh at me, but I'm going to get coffee because I'm going to choose coffee over food pretty much any day, especially if it's first thing in the morning. That's what I'm going to get. And so I will get either a latte or shaken Jamaican or something like that, depending on my, how I'm feeling that morning. I'll get one of those, but my snack's going to be a coffee.
Yes, and this is right over near Space Mountain. I picked the cream cheese stuffed pretzel from the lunching pad, just as a snack.
You got that last time we were there, didn't you?
Yeah, and she also gave me like this blue raspberry slushy thing that was so refreshing to sit and sip on in the heat when it was so hot.
While you were waiting on me to get my coffee.
It wasn't just you because we had Cassie was on
Tron.
Tron as
That's
well.
right.
So
That's
I
right.
just grabbed my pretzel and I had my little slushy and I sat and just listened to the Tomorrowland music and just relaxed and people watched. So that was good. Traction. I think we both said the same thing on this one too. We're just
Oh,
like,
really? Yay. So my attraction is the Carousel of Progress. And again, I know that it's not super thrill ride. It's not super duper updated, but I love that it's an OG and that it is something that's directly connected to Walt Disney. I love it for that reason. And it's a great ride to get out of the heat, or if it's raining and you just need to get out of the rain and you just want to sit and hear the great big beautiful tomorrow. It's it's just perfection.
you basically stole my notes. So I'll just read off. I said, I'm going to cheat here. And then I even have a quote to back up that I'm cheating because the Carousel Progress holds the record as the longest running stage show in the history of American theater. So it is a good like attraction. It does count. And then I said, everybody's got to see it once. It's a great song. It's AC. It's dark. It's a good napping spot. And they also are just replacing all the chairs. So they're a little more comfy, a little more cushion.
Yeah.
So we're very in tune with Tomorrowland people. Obviously, they're very tried and true.
Yeah. I love that ride. And of course, I like, even if we don't go on it or if we don't go on the in the attraction, I typically am singing the song as we walk by it.
All right, let's take the new little secret path over to Fantasyland from Tron. Walk over there with our coffee and pretzel in hand.
Exactly. Okay, so no one come at me about this one. I know that this ride gets a lot of flack for being overrated and that people wait for it and that it's not deserving of that. But I love Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I do. I love it. And no, I do not wait in line for 2 hours for it. We usually rope drop this ride, or if we're, for whatever reason, we don't get to rope drop it, then I usually will buy the Lightning Lane because this is kind of tied with Big Thunder Mountain for my oldest daughter, Lena, her favorite ride. So I just love this ride. I really do. I love the
Okay,
whole vibe.
so in you saying this goes back to what we were just talking about with the single pass. Is if you weren't getting up to drop it, you would just buy the individual lightning lane. Now you got to know a week in
Ahead of
advance.
time. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, sorry, I'll get off my soapbox about this now. For Fantasyland, for my ride, I'm gonna pick Small World. I grew up with the Disneyland Small World, so it's very nostalgic. I do like Seven Dwarfs. It's fun. I don't think it's worth the wait, but if it's your first or second time, I feel like you need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, it's nostalgic because my girls love it so much,
Yeah.
and for me, that brings me joy, and that's kind of my connection. That's my emotional connection to that ride. You know.
Yes. And then you can't forget about Dumbo. It's such a classic. And did you even go to Disney if you didn't ride Dumbo?
Yeah, that's true. I have some of my best content videos from Dumbo whenever I don't know what they did. I think they might have pushed a button or hit a lever, or maybe their Dumbo was broken or something, and the girls could not get their Dumbo to go up and down. And I have video of them basically fighting behind us, and the looks on their faces were priceless because they were so mad because they couldn't get the Dumbo to go up and down.
Well, and if you don't realize, you kind of have to hold it for 5 seconds for it to kind of like release. It's not like an immediate move if you move the lever.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
think there is something you can do though that like makes it not go up and down. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what they did, but they did something and
that's hilarious.
but yeah, they were very mad. And I want to go back just quickly to your Small World. If you haven't been to Disneyland and you haven't experienced the Small World there, it is so awesome. And they've added these little characters from the movies to the little people on the ride. And they're so cute.
So the first time that we came around the corner into like the American desert section and I saw Woody with his rope, oh, be still my heart. I was just,
Yeah.
oh, we
It
have
was
like
so cute.
Lilo and Stitch surfing, and I think they've added Moana and Ariel's over there. Just
Ariel.
so many cute ones. So
Yeah.
it makes it more fun, I feel like, for the kids too, because I'll be like, hey, can you find all the characters? And they're more into it, trying to figure out which one.
I think it's great how they kept with the original theme,
Yeah.
theming and the dolls of the ride, but they also they added like a new like refreshing piece to it. So
Yes. And the outside, the facade out there, like it's just so pretty and
yeah, it's so classic. It really is. I'm sad that they didn't really have the room, I guess, or they just didn't have the ability to do it that way in Disney World because it's just a completely different experience to get on outside in front of that giant wall. Super.
well, in fact, the first time we were at Disney World, I almost passed it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, this is small. Are
Mm-hmm.
you kidding me? This is
Mm-hmm.
what they did. This is
Yeah, it's not as fun at all. So,
food.
moving on to food. I think this is kind of, I don't know if it's considered a snack or not. I mean, it's food for me. So, but I love going to Friar's Nook and getting the tater tots. That's something I'm able to eat and it's good and it's super yummy. And I'm pretty sure the girls get some kind of, I think they might have like some type of slushy there. I'm pretty sure there's some type of slushy that they get when we go there. But that's usually where if I'm going to go somewhere in Fantasyland, that's where I'm going to stop to get something to eat.
I also put the Friar's Nook. It does have the rare breakfast sandwich. You can't find a lot of breakfasty things around, like
Yeah.
quick service.
Mm-hmm.
So it does have a breakfast sandwich. It has the tachos. And then I don't think it's on the menu, but our friend Monica swears by the caramel apple pecan can pie drizzled with vanilla custard sauce. This was on my list the last trip, but as we all know, our Magic Kingdom day was interrupted by Tiana's. So it didn't happen, but
Completely upended.
yes. And this is also where they're serving currently, one of the places they're currently serving beignets. So don't overlook the Friar's Nook because you have snacks and food. It's right there by the carousel. Good little central location back there.
It is a little bit of a challenge to find seating though. So just know that when you walk up there, if you see an empty table, do not go stand in line first. Grab that table and have somebody sit at the table because it's not going to be there when you get out of line. There's
Or
definitely not enough seating.
take your tray and walk across the little, what is that, promenade plaza thing to the arches and sit on like the wall. You know what I'm talking about? They have like the arch.
But
It's not the same, but you can still sit and watch the carousel and
that's true.
you're
It's
just
not
laughing.
covered.
No,
it's not covered. So if you are there when it's warm out, really warm out, you're not going to be covered up if you're over there. But it's still a spot to sit for sure. And
so
it's not a trash can.
No, it's not a trash can. I guess that would be my snack too. So did you have a snack?
I did. So I'm not able to get some of the really fun snacks, and I'm a little bitter about it, like the cinnamon roll. And I think there's that fun creme brulee something that they have now at Gaston's Tavern.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not able to get those, and everybody else around me enjoys those while I can't have it. But I do love some LeFou's brew. It's basically an apple juice slushy.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love a good slushy, especially an apple slushy. So I love it. It's good. And that's what I would get if I had to choose.
I forgot about the cinnamon roll. If you all get the cinnamon roll, get a side of extra frosting because you need the extra frosting.
Pour lemon juice in my wound. So what attraction or entertainment did you choose?
So I picked an activity. I'm breaking the rules since we these are our rules. I'm gonna go to Sir Mickey's and get pixie dusted.
Oh, that's a cute idea.
So this is the exit little store to Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is also a great napping AC stop show kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just be prepared that when you get pixie dusted, you are going to have glitter
Months.
ever.
It
Uh,
never comes out of your hair.
no, and so, well, I guess it was on Main Street. Reese got her first haircut at the Harmony Barbershop, and they pixie dusted her, and they pixie dusted Harper. And Reese, they only did a little bit, and we were still finding it for months. But it's still so fun to go get a little pixie dust.
Yeah, it is cute. My girls, they got the pixie dust when they did Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And I remember specifically from our first trip, they got really carried away with the pixie dusting. And I'm telling you, I think I was finding glitter in their hair 6 months later.
Well, and then to make matters worse is you're like rushing through it. And so then it's stuck to your brush and then it's just transferring
Right.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't ask them to go light. That you can ask them, but just be prepared.
And a really cute story from Ella when she did Bippity Boppity Boutique the first time. She did the little bun in her hair, and then they put a little tiara in front of it. She was 3.
Aww.
So it took me days to convince her to take her hair out. I was like, all right, Pumpkin, you're going to need to wash your hair. We can't go another day. It's been like 4 days. We need
get all that gel out.
We need to take it out and we need to wash her hair because she would not take it out. So you can see there from the different days that we were there, she had that thing in her hair for like 3 or 4 days because she was refusing to take her hair down.
That's so fun.
I know. It was so cute.
What's your attraction/entertainment?
So I wasn't sure if this counted. So, but like you said, we're making the rules, so we'll make it count. I chose the Happily Ever After fireworks show because it's over the castle. So I'm assuming that counts for Fantasyland.
Yeah,
so,
I like watching it back there. You just don't get to see the projections like you would on Main Street, but it's not as crowded.
Yeah, well, and the thing, I wasn't sure if the front of the castle, because that's kind of the hub.
Line. Yeah.
And so I feel like that might be like a gray area. It's not Main Street. It's not really a land really. Yeah. So I thought maybe I can squeeze this one in.
That works. We'll count it.
Yes. And you can obviously watch from any of the lands. You can watch from anywhere, the fireworks. And a lot of people do like to go behind the castle because it's not as crowded. It's a little quieter. And, those that get a lot of anxiety from people being crowded together all in one space, that's difficult for them to be in the hub or on Main Street because of the crowd levels. And so you can watch it from behind the castle and it gives you a different perspective.
Yeah, you still have your fireworks overhead and you can still see Tink.
You can still hear the music.
Yeah, so it's a good spot. You're not too far away.
You're just not going to see the projections.
Yeah,
but if you don't care about that, if it's more important for you to not have that anxiety of being in a crowd, then it's a perfect spot to be behind the castle. So,
oh, that's a good one to end on. I know. Now I'm going to be singing Happily Ever After. Do you ever get caught on hold with Disney singing Happily Ever After?
I have before. And because a lot of times when I'm on hold, I have it on speaker. My daughters, I will hear them the rest of the day. I'll hear them humming it or singing it under their breath because they heard it while I had it on speaker. And so then it's stuck in their head.
So I think that wraps up episode 10. So if you've made it through all 10, thank you. Like, I feel like this is a milestone.
It is. I'm so excited and I'm so excited we did the leap and we're on this adventure together. We'll continue to record for you every week as long as you keep coming back.
So please go give us a rating and a review. That would be a great little episode 10 present.
Yes. Bow on top of episode 10 would be for you to give us a lovely review and a 5-star rating. That would be lovely. I mean, yeah, 5 stars. Not five, not any lower than 5 stars. But we'll see you all next week. Have a great week.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust and Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.